Okay, what we have here is the long-awaited, 10 years running waited trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6. Okay, I've seen a few snippets. From what I saw, looks good. Okay, I might have a few critiques. You know how Markus says he may have a few critiques here and there, but ultimately, let's check out this freaking thing, huh? I think it looks good. I'm liking it. All right, now we have the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, man. I'm excited. I hope this thing's good, and I hope I don't get kicked off of YouTube. So we'll see. Oh. Okay, so there's copyrighted music.
You know why you're here.
All right, so I got to turn down. Okay. I'm already liking the visuals of it. All right, so the graphics are pretty good, man. Holy smokies. Yeah, please don't. It just don't get me. Sorry, I gotta turn it down, y'all. I mean, look at these. Why aren't you fucking... technology pisses me off so much. Okay. Oh, that's classy. All right. So there's some social media stuff. Hooray. Hey, man, social media is part of life now. It looks like social media is a big part of it.
Get through this is by sticking together.
Oh boy. Let's go. Hey, okay. Double your pleasure, double your fun. 2 main characters. One less than the last one. Oh, look at him go. Yeah, she got an ass. Okay. Grand Theft Auto 6. So the biggest thing for me that stood out right away was the graphics. Holy potatoes. I mean, but here's the thing. I'm not saying it's like photorealistic. I'm saying it looks beautiful as a video game, right? Like, I don't want it to be real life. I don't want it to be this photorealistic VR augmented reality experience. I want a video game. I want them to make a video game in their art style that looks awesome. And it looks like, holy cow, did they do that? Because, I mean, just like the color palette, too. It's got like that purple on most of it, right?
Yeah.
So obviously...
Bad luck, I guess.
Yeah, bad luck. And all the people you murdered and stole from. So, I mean, just look at the depth of all of this. Like, I know it's not... This is definitely not like gameplay, but it's going to be gameplay approximate, right? So this is Florida. Okay, you have all these private beaches and you have to pay to use these. That's why they're all color coordinated like that, so they know where to go, other people. Because, you know, you can't, there's actually no beaches anywhere that are open to the public. They're all owned by someone, including the government. But that's not what this is about. Okay? But like, look at the foliage. I'm loving the look of it, right? Like, imagine just Red Dead Redemption 2, how good that game looked, plus a bunch of years, and set in Florida. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting so much pixelization. Pissing me off. But damn. Okay, again, the graphics look awesome. But what is going on here? I downloaded this so I wouldn't have to deal with this shit. Look at this beach, okay? Just think about it. It looks so good. There's probably needles you can step on. You know? I mean, we got a lot to take in here. If you're taking it on like, hey, they're hiding or they're showing us stuff that they want us to see. A couple things that stand out. You have a truck with a trailer. Anytime you have a truck with a trailer, it opens up a lot of opportunities for fuckery. Okay, we got jet skis, which you would expect, but just the sheer amount of people. Look at this guy. You know, he's catching the dark side of the moon. Everyone's on their phone. Unbelievable. Phone, just a lot of phones. I mean, a lot of phones. Lot of phones. But look at how dense this beach is. That is crazy. A lot of ass. How you know you're working with Grand Theft Auto. I'm loving it. So one thing that makes you wonder, or one thing that you wonder is, one thing that I wonder about is how much of the world Like, how much of the game is, hey, look at how realistic we made the world? And how much is the game is, hey, look at this awesome story that we created, right? Because in my opinion, it should be like a 20-80, as in 80% story, 20%, hey, look at how cool our world is. Now, don't get me wrong. We want cool worlds. We want lived in, experienced worlds. But if the game isn't fun, you fucking did it wrong, Starfield. Okay? Because, like, cool, there's a rapper. This is awesome. This looks beautiful. Imagine flying a helicopter through this. Okay? But if I can't shoot rockets out of that helicopter and create massive chaos and have it be a lot of fun, is it a Grand Theft Auto game? I would say no. Because, again, this is so pretty. The graphics are the biggest thing for me. Cool graphics, but a lot of asses, okay? And that's great. I like asses, too. I like graphics and asses. This has a bunch of it already, but I need more. So one thing I am worried about, I hope this is more for the advertising of it all, but there are some games that have tried to incorporate like social media. Watch Dogs 2 is one of them. I think the new Saints Row is another. But ultimately trying to make social media not really, 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 really lame. Social media is similar to kind of McDonald's. Like they sell 10 billion burgers a day, but nobody eats it. Isn't that just amazing? You know, Facebook has 30 million users or whatever, but everybody is embarrassed to be on it. Okay. So social media is the scooter. And I hope that there's not a bunch of missions that are like, go take pictures until your followers are at a certain amount. And if they do this and make it so that you need like followers to advance in the game, oh baby, Markus will be so pissed. So pissed. That honestly, if that is, I could think of many features. That feature alone would be the number one reason I would never play the game. Because you are putting the advancement of the game behind filler work. This isn't Crash Bandicoot, and I'm not going for coins. Okay, this is Grand Theft Auto. So as much as this is cool, I hope it's something that adds to the experience and doesn't just become the experience. You know what I mean? Because, like, this is something that would just be funny. Like, oh, you could jump on... Because here's a good example. So in the old games and all the games, there's talk shows on the cars, on the radio, right? And you could tune in. They're funny stories, they're funny skits, all kinds of stuff going on. But it's not what the game is about. So if this stuff exists in the game and you can like kind of check your phone and it's something on top of it, sure, that's awesome. That's funny. It's very realistic, very immersive. But just please don't have this be like the vessel of the missions or something really lame. Please don't. Just please don't. But I tell you, they're putting a lot of emphasis on it. So, but also this is one of my favorites. Love her. This is also a promotion and it's 2 years away, right? So this is a great way for people to stitch and do the YouTube collaborations and reactions. So actually, I'm hoping and praying and loving and thinking that they did it in this style so that it's just for advertising, right? Like maybe this doesn't even exist in the game. Maybe it's, you know, Lucha Libre fan. Like we'll never see her again except when we do her mission. And there's no follow button, there's no message, there's no DMs. You can hope.
The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team.
I feel like they're definitely gonna take a Bonnie and Clyde, it's not their fault angle. which, whatever. The big cool thing nowadays is, you know, there's no bad people. There's no victims, right? So that won't surprise me. That's okay. A lot of it is to show how much they are putting in the RP mode compared to their story. Oh my God. Noob. I didn't even think about that because that is what Grand Theft Auto is right now. Grand Theft Auto roleplay it's one of the top streaming categories. Just in the general sense, it's always a big deal. It's not the biggest, it's one of. That's up there. It's top 10 almost every time, all the time. So, oh no. No. Okay. You're probably really right about that. So if they're setting it up to bank off of the success of the RP that's going on right now, oh no. Well, this is pleasant. But the point being it, man, because here's the concern. If they if they're focusing really hard on making a world that the players can create the narrative, they're taking a more MMO approach, right? And like Grand Theft Auto isn't an MMO. Even Grand Theft Auto Online isn't an MMO. Now, what it's turned into, good on you guys. You made all the money. Good, congratulations. You made a casino and you take money from kids. Good job. But the point is like, that is such a small part. Yes, it's what people have done because it's taken you 10 years to make a new game. But the point is the majority of gamers are not RP gamers. The majority of gamers are not MMO players. And the majority of MMO players are not Grand Theft Auto players. So that'll be so interesting. I'm not saying that they're going MMO. I'm not saying that's what they're going to do. But I'm saying if they try to and do it poorly and, ooh, buddy. And they essentially incorporate online and story mode, and there's not a difference. It's not like a separation of states like there was before. And it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That would not be, I don't think that would be the call. Because there's clearly a story here. There so clearly is like a social media influence to this. You can tell one in the presentation, man, pretty world. Pretty freaking world. Holy crap. Because, man, all right, one more time. Look, what do they focus on the most? Okay. So they open with Lucia, the story, right? They introduced us to the main character right away, not the social media stuff yet. So we're still doing okay. Okay, more of the world, more look how big our world is, look how immersive our world is. A lot going on in our world, okay? Again, a lot of world building here. Just look at how pretty everything is. More story, I feel. More story. Okay, so right now I'm seeing a lot of essentially this Lucia's, I already forgot her name. This looks like a more traditional Rockstar, right, game. Or game trailer, excuse me. So then, this honestly, okay, so if we try to see it from what are they telling us, right? What is this part of the trailer? Right? Everything else relatively traditional in terms of trailer up to this point. They're like traditional story. Check out Lucinda. You know, we got cool boats and cool shit and pretty women and beautiful world. So traditional. And then all of a sudden they give us this part. This part seems distinctly different from the rest of the game, right? Like, for example, in Vice City, story brought up a good point. You could buy businesses to make money. right? To raise your empire. So there was like a sub part of the story that was buying businesses and operating. I guess that was in all of them. But that, see my point? So what is this? Like, is there, because none of it is Lucinda. None of it is the main character. These are all people with unique names. So are these NPCs? Are these sub stories maybe? Right? Are these going to be people that you check in with, and as you watch their feed, you have new missions unlock? Or, you know? Because if it's just record them, I'll be upset. Have a nice day. Okay. Because, like, so, they're touching so much on social media right now. So there's a couple options. It's either going to be, like I was saying, it's like a feed that you can just watch, and it's like the television and Grand Theft Auto 5, the radios and all that stuff, right? Because again, we have super traditional, right? Like, look at our world. Here's our characters. There's going to be a banger story. And then we're in the social media. The social media aspect of this trailer is the most interesting to me. And the reason is it's not because I really am hoping it's something we haven't seen yet. I don't want to compare it to like the Saints Row or the Watch Dogs stuff, because that was kind of lame and it wasn't good, right? But man, so like this one, for example. So say this is gameplay, and I'm probably jumping in a little more. The police one's interesting, but say just this clip is what you get, right? So you're seeing that dude's grabbing his dick and he's doing the thing. What would that turn into in the video game? So you're playing the game, you open the interaction, you see Dick Grabber on the freeway grabbing dick, and then what happens, right? Like, what is the transition? So is it just going to be as simple as, oh, I got an objective now, and I'm going to go to that objective and see Dick Grabber? I don't think so. I don't think so. That seems so weak and kind of backwards, you know? And I trust Rockstar, and I love Grand Theft Auto series as a whole, man. So I do have faith in their ability to make a good game. But so you see it somehow you interact with this social media aspect, these videos, these clips. You follow, like, DM, maybe. Okay, so by doing these likes and follows, how cool it would be. Oh, man, now here's what would be awesome. I doubt it, but how cool would this be? So say you follow Yo Mama's Jammer, right? And then by following him and interacting with his posts, God, I hope they don't do this because it sounds really lame. But if they find a way to make it fun, by like interacting with Yo Mama's, somehow that opens up like a narrative chain of events that can alter the world. Like how you live in this social media presented situations, how you interact with them, like the world adjusts to it. Maybe. How wild would that be, though? I don't know how they would do it, because that's pretending that social media has an impact. I mean, at most, you could just start marches. You know what I mean, though? Like, there's gotta be something. It's not going to be as simple as just watching shorts. I just don't think it is. Now, what I worry they're going to do is this is purely a role play social media, like sharing clips, right? So you set up scenarios in your game, you load them to this bullshit, and then like it's cool. There'll be a lot of clips, and they'll probably have cool cinematic features. That's if they do this path, right? If they do this route, but you'll be able to free flow with the camera and filters and make it cinematic as fuck. And like, so if they do that, that'll be a cool feature that will be like meta, would be a good way to compare it. You know, it's like, well, it sounds really cool to have an entirely virtual world with bars and comedy clubs. But at the end of the day, it's a bunch of 12-year-olds drawing dicks on the wall. And it's unlikely that it's going to produce the results that you want it to produce. So I really hope it's not that either. So, oh man, okay. I think it's going to be a mashup of ideas. The character, you can create your own story and live out your own story. So like on A story as in social media post and like a feed? Is that what you mean by story? Or are you talking more of the narrative sense? Like it's a more free flowing story. I feel like it's going to be more interactive world where NPCs seem more realistic. See, and I get that too, man. So who's ever played Yakuza? Who's played those Yakuza games? Okay. Now they're not for everybody. Don't get me wrong. There's a pacing to that game that you got to want and enjoy that pacing. But the thing about the Yakuza games that is pretty amazing is that world is lived in. These characters know each other. They interact with each other. Now it's not like an evolution thing. It's not like, oh, you interact with Susan, so Billy does this. It's the way they write the narrative. The people, every single person you talk to lives in this world and it makes sense. And it's very interactable in that. So one thing that would be interesting is if the social media aspect is like a flare of their AI, right? So if it's like their AI this is going to be the most lived in, realistic, world where if you take a selfie with somebody, it gets uploaded to their feed, and then another NPC that interacts with that will follow you and then generate you some sort of mission or obligation. Like that would be crazy. That would be interesting. Would it though? Because, realistic NPCs aside, from a gameplay... So, like, for example, you're driving around, then all of a sudden, you see this, and you have to... But think about Grand Theft Auto games, y'all. If this was in your game, you would just plow through them and go to your objective, right? So how did they make this not silly in a way that's going to be immersive and contribute to the game? Because this in a cutscene is awesome, but that's just a cutscene. It's a one-time event that establishes a car rally. But from a gameplay perspective, if this is happening in the world, if you roll up on this while you're trying to go pick up Susie from the bakery, you're not going to care. You're just going to, the majority of players are just going to blast right through all these people, these faceless NPCs, and not give a damn. So it'll make you wonder how, from a narrative perspective, are they going to incorporate the social media and the in-game world interaction, man? Because it's just... And like the police one, that is so out of nowhere. Because if you look at it, okay, so this is security footage, and this could just simply be to show that there's going to be alligators, right? Like, hey, look, there's animals, and the animals are going to interact with the world. So that could be what that really is. Okay, but the police one, okay, there's body camera footage of a police raid. And what's happening? Is this just a simple cutscene? Or maybe there's going to be a police side and then the bandit love duo side. Now that would be kind of cool if you had like almost a breaking, because all right, think about it, Marcus. The way they did 5, you got 3 main characters that you could pick, and based off of what was going on in the story, different things would happen when you load it into the scenes, right? So now imagine it's a more living, evolving world with this new AI, right? This new artificial intelligence. It's super good and it's just smart, like some of the groundbreaking AI. Let's say Rocksteady figured it out. Okay, so as you're, say, doing the police side, right? You're doing the raids and whatever. No, other side. Flip it around. So let's say that we're doing something as the criminal duos, and after we do it, the police, like this gets generated. They go on a raid. The AI police go on a raid, and then somehow this footage is that raid. There's no way they did that. But can you imagine if the technology was getting that crazy, y'all? So like, because here's how they do it. So the AI does this, right? And basically, when you switch back to the police, you get these scenes that catch you up on what the AI has been doing as you were the other set of characters, right? So then you get caught up every time you switch back and forth on like what's been going on. Now that would be a cool way to do. That would just be cool as shit if it worked. The technical specs to do this would be insane, because this is just your typical video game stuff, right? It's a cutscene, you know. But I don't know, man. Hey, now, hold on a minute. We're going to dig a little deeper here and just... Excuse me. It's so interesting. So obviously what I am doing right now is setting up Rockstar with just almost an unbelievable set of standards, right? Like I essentially just said, they recreated all of AI. This is going to be the most profound and energized game that's ever existed, and this is where Skynet starts. So that is where I have just set Grand Theft Auto 6 to. Some could call it unfair. Some could call it unfair. I just would like to call it life. What do you guys want from Grand Theft Auto 6? Because, I mean, I'm a big fan of Grand Theft Auto, but, I mean, I didn't play online. I felt the online was super unbalanced. I was sick of getting killed by people on flying motorcycles. I think they put way too much money into making money. And because of that, I just never really played the online portion. You know, I don't get, my balls don't get tickled because of how big my bank account is on a video game. I'm not one of those people, man. And that's a lot of what Grand Theft Auto Online was status, a lot of status stuff. And that's one thing about Grand Theft Auto 6 I did see. I bet you there's leaderboards with how many followers you have. There's definitely going to be some sort of social media aspect that's like a cross game thing. And the more you contribute to it, and the more likes and follows. Like, I feel like Rocksteady's trying to make almost like a Grand Theft Auto social media site.